YouTube, hello. Mike Demo here. How does it feel to see me in 1080p in widescreen as opposed to a vertical video? It must be pretty crazy. Today we're gonna be reading some of Pennsylvania Movies Letterboxd reviews. We're gonna get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm very excited. Thank you to everybody who's watched the movie, whether you saw it on YouTube, you came to the drive-in screening, you left a review, you didn't leave a review, you loved it, you hated it. I'm just happy that you watched it. It really means a lot to me. First review we're gonna read is 4.5 stars and a heart. It says, the music in this is so good and I absolutely love the small amount of speech. It really reminded me of how quiet life was during lockdown. First off, thank you for the review. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that you like the small amount of speech. The reason that we did that wasn't so much to show the quietness of the lockdown, but was because I'm not really confident in recording audio. It was something that I wanted to get better at when I was making the movie, and I think I did a pretty good job because a lot of people leave reviews saying that they really liked the sound design, and I played to my strengths, which is what you should do if you're making a low budget movie. Play to your strengths. Maybe you're really good at recording sound, then maybe do a dialogue heavy film. I like to think that I'm better at cinematography and stuff like that, so I focused on the visuals and just kind of did what I could with the sound design. 3.5 stars. Watched this with friends and we talked about it longer than the movie itself. Lonely, unsettling, and very relatable. Loved it. This is a really cool review. I love hearing that people are talking about this movie because I know that it's very art house, it's very avant-garde. My next movie's not gonna be like that, so if you didn't like Pennsylvania Movie because you were like, I don't know what's happening, I think you'll like my next movie a lot more. But it's always cool to hear people's different interpretations of the film, or that they just spent a lot of time thinking about it. That means that I did something right, in my opinion, because you want to take the time to try and figure out what's going on. So even though it's weird and it's quirky, you know, I like hearing that people are talking about the movie. And some people apparently are talking about it longer than the film itself, which is double cool. So thank you for the review. 5 stars and a heart. I wonder how different this movie would be if it took place in, say, I don't know, New Jersey. Niche comment alert. This is a reference to a series I did on TikTok called Would a Movie Be Better If It Was Set in Pennsylvania? And it's how I got my first chunk of followers. I started posting those videos in December of 2024, and it just kind of took off. I would say, like, would Dune be a better movie if it was set in Pennsylvania? I think my Would Good Will Hunting be better if it was set in Pennsylvania did really well. And that's kind of how I started getting my initial following. And because my following was based around Pennsylvania movies, I went and called the film Pennsylvania Movie. Boom. But yeah, I wanted to claim Pennsylvania Movie as a title because I figure if anyone's ever trying to find like Rocky or Silver Linings Playbook and they can't remember the title, but they're like, oh, it's set in Pennsylvania, they'll look up movies set in Pennsylvania and hopefully Pennsylvania Movie will come up towards the top. 4 out of 5 stars. Shout out Mike Demo. Thank you. Shout out you for watching the movie. I've been following him on the talk for a while now and was looking forward to this coming out. I enjoyed watching this. Mike, if you're reading this, please make more. Well, I am reading it and I will make more. I have 2 movies in the pipeline right now. One is a narrative feature film that we're gonna start shooting in March and we're gonna finish shooting in May. It's a comedy, very different from Pennsylvania Movie. I think it'll be a lot more mainstream, which is why I said if you didn't like Pennsylvania Movie, you might like my next movie a lot more. And then the other film I'm doing is a documentary, which I'm also very excited to release. The documentary is super personal to me, but I think it's gonna identify with a lot of people, so I'm super excited to release that as well. And so ideally, at the end of 2026, I put out 2 feature films. So then I can make TikTok videos saying how to make 2 feature films in a year. All right, we've been reading all the nice stuff. Let's get into the nitty gritty because the critique is where we grow. 1.5 stars. I feel bad rating this so low because I follow the creator on TikTok and he's on here, so he'll probably see this. I did see this. But this was boring as hell. Well, thank you for the review and I appreciate your honesty. I knew when the movie was getting ready to come out that it was kind of boring and that the film would probably only really hit with people watching it either to learn how to make a low budget movie or people who liked art house stuff. But that was okay with me because if you can believe it, the original draft of the script was actually a lot more boring than the movie ended up being. Because originally there was no gas mask man, there was no horror aspect. I added the gas mask guy into the movie so that there would be something for people to latch onto while I was telling the story of the director, because really that was the story I wanted to tell. I wanted to make a movie about DIY solo filmmaking, but I know that that doesn't hit with everybody, and I also didn't want just 3 people to watch it, so I added kind of a horror thriller aspect to it. So yeah, I knew the movie wasn't going to be super exciting. I tried my best to not compromise my original story and still have it be somewhat entertaining. But I promise you that the next movie is not going to be boring. It's going to be very exciting. I wouldn't necessarily call it action-packed, but it's very stimulating. So hopefully you watch the next movie and you like it a little bit more. Thank you for the review. 2.5 stars. I found this on TikTok. Smiley face. Thank you for watching it. All right, we got a long one. I'm excited. 1.5 stars. I was pretty excited to see this one since I have followed the production phases from the beginning. I know it's Mike's first film, but I do not rate with biases. Good. Number 1, thank you for following the movie since the beginning. And number 2, thank you for rating without any bias. I never want anybody to rate my movies with bias because I don't become a better filmmaker if I don't learn what didn't work. This film encapsulates the difficulties for new filmmakers and how creativity has to flourish in the absence of expensive cameras and VFX. I think the subplot is a whole lot better than the main one. Not to be harsh, but the second act and late first act are just boring. The pacing was pretty rough. I think that comes from the quality and color. Also, I think the plot is a little shallow up front. I do think it is a unique film idea, but the writing could be worked on. What I did like was the camera shots. I was genuinely impressed by them. Even with not great cameras and minimum budget, some shots were great. There was a lot of promise, and I heavily enjoyed the last 15 to 25 minutes. I think Mike has a good deal of potential. Well, thank you for the review. I appreciate you saying that you think I have potential, and I'm glad you enjoyed the final act of the movie. One thing I've seen a lot of people say is that the comedy in the last act works really well, which I'm happy to hear because I was super nervous about picking that ending because I wasn't sure how people were going to react. 1.5 stars, how it feels to live in an area of Pennsylvania without a Sheetz or Wawa nearby. There was actually a scene in the original script that included Wawa, and then we cut it out because we just didn't need it. 4.5 stars, the mask genuinely scared me, I'm not gonna lie. Also, seeing scenes literally where we have walked and hung out is insane and cool. It was shot in a way where I was nervous he was gonna pop out whenever. I'm glad you found the movie kinda scary and that you were nervous the whole time. That was my goal, and I was only really able to build that in the editing, and I wasn't sure if it was gonna work, but I guess it did. So thank you for the review. 3 stars. It's my first time watching a movie by a small creator, and I really enjoyed it because it was quite creative. I especially liked Alan as he reminded me a lot of Frank from Donnie Darko. He was influenced by Frank from Donnie Darko, so I'm happy to hear that. Along with the song that played whenever he came on screen, giving him an ominous vibe, I just wish there was a bit more backstory to the main character, but besides that, I love this movie. Well, thank you for the review, and I'm glad you liked the song. A lot of people have commented on the droning song that plays when Alan, the gas mask man, is on screen, and that's actually the opera song that plays throughout the movie in reverse at, I think, 50% speed, and that's how you get that droning sound. 4.5 stars and a heart. Mike DeMonte's Pennsylvania Movie is a haunting film with memorable camera work and a satisfying ending. DeMonte has a strong future in the film industry, and Pennsylvania Movie has proved that. In short, I love this movie. Thank you for such a kind review. It's always nice hearing people say that they like the camera work, because that, as I said earlier, was the strength that I was really trying to lean on when I went into production for this film, and I think the movie looks pretty good. So again, always happy to hear that. Thank you for the review. 4 stars, love the Mike Demo cameo. Glad you caught it. Looking forward to what he does next. Go. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do a cameo in every one of my films, probably wearing the Bass Pro Shops hat, which I'm realizing just now that I'm not wearing. This is very different from TikTok. But yeah, expect a cameo in the next film as well. And then the documentary centers around me, so it's gonna be like an 1.5 hour long cameo. This review has a heart and says, I stumbled upon the trailer on TikTok and added it to my watch list with little expectations. This is a very cool feature debut, and now I know I'll want to see his next movie. Let's go. DeMonte does a great job creating an atmosphere that sucks you in and clearly has a great eye too. Thank you. The Shyamalan influence is self-evident. Glad to hear it. And I gotta say, it was funnier than I expected coming into it. Also happy to hear it. Hope a bunch of people see this. Well, thank you for the review. I'm happy to hear that somebody on TikTok who did not follow me before the movie saw the trailer and was like, I'm gonna add it to my watch list and give it a look. So, awesome review. And if you thought this movie was funny, check out the next one when it comes out, because I think it's gonna be a lot funnier. Anyway, that's all the reviews I'm gonna read for today. I hope you guys liked this video. I'm gonna try and post more filmmaking related stuff on my YouTube. If you haven't seen Pennsylvania Movie yet, you can head to my channel and watch it for free. And then you can head to Letterboxd and leave a review. And the second you hit post, just imagine me saying thank you, because I will be doing that once I read it. Again, look out for more info on my next feature film, All the Mayor's Men. You can add it to your Letterboxd watch list now. We're gonna start shooting in March, finish it up in May, and then hopefully release it in the not so distant future after that. And then I haven't added the documentary to Letterboxd yet, because I'm kind of keeping it hush hush right now, but expect that as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that if you're a filmmaker and you watched Pennsylvania Movie, that you are now in production on your own feature film, because you can do it. Go do it, all right? All right, I'll talk to you guys later.